ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुमेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर वासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। So welcome to Bhakti Steps. We are reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, and we completed 11 verses from it. So, what we went through in this chapter is the knowledge that the sages, the Rishi Munis, the sadhus have used. So, in this material world is controlled by three gunas: Sattva guna, Rajas guna, Tamas guna, goodness, passion, ignorance. Okay, and now in itself, these gunas have to be used for our benefit. That's what the sadhus, Rishi Munis, they did. So first we need to know what these gunas do, how they influence, and when do they act, how do they act. Okay, because these gunas are there in our body, plus the gunas are there in the world also. So we looked at various examples like music, food, earth, rain, everything has these gunas. You know, so when everything is working according to the gunas, and when we have a goal of our spiritual life, so we should be able to use those gunas in such a way that it helps in our spiritual life. That is the aim. That is what the sadhus and the rishi munis did with these gunas. Just like we discussed, tamas, ignorance guna, is what? Sleeping. So use this particular so time. When it becomes tamas, when does the time become tamas? When it becomes dark. After 9 o'clock, it increases, and reaches like 12 o'clock. Maximum tamas. Ignorance is there. So, this particular time period we have to use for sleep. If we use the sattva time, which is morning before sunrise 2 o'clock to, let's say, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, if you use that time to sleep, then we are losing the goodness. So, therefore, it is in our disadvantage. Hmm? When we are doing business, we have to have passionate. It has to be a lot of desires and anchoring and all that. But if somebody is doing business without being competitive, he says, I don't want to compete when he's thinking of business, then he won't be able to do business properly. So one has to use those particular gunas to accelerate in material life as well as in spiritual life. You got this idea? Did you get this idea? Any question? Okay. So goodness is purest in the material world. It's illuminating without sinful reaction. Rajas is born of unlimited desires. Lust increases because of that. Hankering increases. Ignorance is born of ignorance only. It's a delusion. Basically, the person is illusioned, or um, he's not able to make proper decisions. He always commits the wrong decision only. And sattva is, it's directed by knowledge. There is a sense of happiness. Passion is fruitive work, what I will get out of it, and if I do this I'll get this. One is motivated by some fruit, that is Sattva, Rajas, sorry. That is Rajas. Tamas. Okay. Hmm. The tamas is insanity, indolence, sleep. So, what is the result of goodness? It will be good only. What is the result of passion? It is misery. If you work passionately, there will be some misery, definitely. But when we have to do, we have to do. Like, what kind of passionate works a person does? Can you tell me? Any example of passionate activities?
Sports,
Drawing,
Prabhu.
painting,
What?
drawing, drawing,
Sports.
painting.
Drawing. Drawing. You said drawing?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Not so much.
Sports, Prabhu.
Yeah, sports, business, administration, politics, and fighting. Kshatriya. So generally, Kshatriya has more passion. Okay, in their body they have more passion. Their subtle body they have more passion. Okay, they have to be passionate. Otherwise, they won't be able to do their job. Like if you put a very soft person as a policeman, will it work? Will it work? I mean, he's a very soft person.
No, Prabhu.
He doesn't hit anybody and all that. He doesn't shout and all that. So you cannot put him in police. You know that it's a failure. Similarly, if you put a very passionate person as a teacher, then he will just drive the students crazy, right? Because he's so passionate, you know. So, so the point is, where this passion is required, you have to put that. Then only you'll get results. So even if there is some misery, like army people, they have to fight passionately. Is there misery in their activity? Yes, there is a lot of suffering. They they get injured, they will lose their arm, their leg, sometimes, and then some will lose their whole life also. But that is what their duty is. Okay. So yeah. So passion's result is always misery. But if it is a necessary misery, then it's okay. Just like army people or policemen, they are fighting, and there is some misery in it. It is not a bed of roses there. Okay, they have to fight with the criminal. The criminal may punch them. The criminal may hurt them also. That misery is there, but that is a necessary misery. And ignorance is madness. Ignorance is madness. The result of ignorance is madness. Actually, there are three things: madness, indolence, sleep. Sleep is also there, out of which we have to only pick up sleep. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so we'll get to our chapter. We had completed till 11. Okay, one important thing we read is the 10th verse. What was the 10th verse? That these modes are fighting with each other for supremacy. There's always a competition between these three modes. Now, what will happen to somebody who's within these modes and the modes are fighting for each other? Sorry, they're fighting with each other. Um, who will win? Sometimes goodness wins, sometimes passion wins, sometimes ignorance wins. Okay, that's what Bhagavad Gita Krishna is saying. Sometimes goodness wins, sometimes passion wins, sometimes ignorance wins. Like at the time of sleep, the ignorance is winning. We can't do anything. We have to go to sleep, right? Mm, like that. So, so if some mode is winning, then it will force us into that mode, into that particular activity. Just like I said, sleeping. If it is forcing us, if the mode is winning over there, there's no goodness, there's no passion, there's sleep is overcoming, then we will definitely sleep. Okay. So this is how the modes pull us. They are ropes. They're called gunas. So with rope, what you can do? You can pull somebody. You can control somebody, right? So therefore they are called as gunas. So therefore there's roles. And I showed you this picture, which you will uh, appreciate now much more. How these gunas work. Um, yeah. See, it is shown like ropes. So if any one of them wins, that rope will be stronger, and the person under that influence will work according to it. Right? Isn't it? You understand this point?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. So what we have to learn from this is that the world is made of modes, and we have to see how to best use of it for our benefit, and not that we go against the modes. First thing. Second thing is, the modes will force us. Okay, the modes will force us. Then we have to see whether we need to get carried away with that mode or not. Just like if it is sleep, then is it a time to sleep? If yes, then fine. But if it is not the time to sleep, then we have to go against the mode. Okay, then we should not be swayed by that mode. Like that. So like that considerations are there. So sadhus and rishis, they knew this knowledge, and therefore they perfected their daily life, and they could practice yoga nicely. Getting? Anyone who knows about this science, right, can practice yoga perfectly. That is the advantage of knowing this. Okay. Um, so we'll get to the mode, text number 11. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the modes are illuminated by knowledge. Gates of body. Which are the gates of body? What is a gate? What is a gate? Gate of the society, gate of the school, gate of the company, gate of the factory. What is a gate? What does it do?
Prabhu, from where we enter and
Yeah, where we
authentic.
enter or we go out. So
Hmm.
our body is a house. Okay. Where it is. Our body is a house. Everyone is having different bodies. Some bodies are like stone, some bodies are like huts, some bodies are like concretes. Okay. But they have doors and windows. Right? They have doors and windows. So therefore our body has so many gates. Now which gates we have? Which gates open and they take input? Two eyes, two ears, two nostrils, mouth, genitals, and anus. So these gates are illuminated by knowledge. What does it mean by illuminated by knowledge? Any thoughts? What does it mean by illuminated by knowledge? Prakasha. Prakash. What does this prakash means on the gates of our body? Does it mean you have to put some tube light on our every gate of the body, on our eyes, ears, mouth, and then it becomes illuminated? What does it mean? Which
So
light it is? Huh?
it's
Sorry?
it's kind of an indication where we will get, like, during the night time our eyes will be closed and we will go into sleep mode.
Okay, okay. Okay, which light it is talking about? Is it talking about this electric light, sunlight?
Prabhu, knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. So now we use the electric light, sunlight for what? To drive away the darkness, to see things. Now there is a bulb which is emitting the light of knowledge. Okay. On every senses. What does that mean? It's a philosophical thing. It means that, okay, I'll give you example. How many of you are parents? You speak. How many?
Yes, Prabhu.
You are there. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes,
You have
Prabhuji.
seen babies. Does the baby know that it has a hand when it was born?
No.
Not really. You will see it will move it, but it won't. But after a few months, it starts understanding I have a hand and I can control it. Right? One fine day, it sees that he's able to close his fingers and open his fingers. Have you seen this phenomena in your baby? Anyone?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, that is the meaning of illuminated by knowledge. Then you get realization. You understand? When you know what is the
Is,
proper
Prabhuji,
purpose.
is it like understanding the things?
Yeah, when you know the purpose of these things that you have with you, okay, then you get knowledge. Otherwise, you are like a baby moving hands and legs like 100 times a day for no reason. But the moment the baby understands this is hand and I can close it, open it, what does then happen after that? Baby starts using it, pulling things, pushing things, right? Till that point it is not doing only anything. So the moment it is understood that how to use it, na, that called is illumination means wo gyan aa gaya, that we know as um, then we know, okay, this is how it to be used. So what happens is the knowledge is not to the senses, okay, it doesn't go to the senses. Knowledge always goes to intelligence. What is the food of intelligence? Knowledge. Then the intelligence understands that how to best use these two eyes, two ears, two nostrils, mouth, genitals, anus. For what? For yoga. What does yoga means? To connect with the supreme. Huge. To connect with the supreme. Basically, how to best use these for my spiritual life. When we get that knowledge, all these senses are illuminated. Now tell me, let's take the help of mouth. Before becoming devotees, what went inside our mouth? And after becoming devotee, what went inside our mouth?
Prasad, Prabhu.
Prasadam.
Okay. Before devotee, after becoming devotee. Someone joining. Okay. What went before devotee into your mouth? Before becoming a devotee, what did go? Tell me some few things, few items that went.
Onion garlic, Prabhu.
Okay, onion, garlic,
Anything which is available.
anything which is that is the Chinese way of saying thing, non-vegetarian food. Okay, that is a Chinese way of saying. In China, anything moves can be eaten. I was once sitting with a Chinese Vietnamese origin colleague, and he was eating snake in that restaurant. It was unbelievable. But anyway, so obnoxious things. Okay, after becoming devotee, what goes into our mouth?
Only prasadam, Prabhuji.
Sattvic, Prasad.
Sattvic veg food. Let's say, prasad. Okay, this is called illumination of our senses. Now we will list down every sense. Getting? Two eyes. What was before, after? Before it was
Movie.
all kinds of things. After it is only Krishna deities. Right? Everyone in the
Hmm.
family is disturbed. How come this boy is only saying temple? 2 years. Before it was hip hop music, Bollywood music. Now it is kirtan. Two nostrils. Before he could smell onion, garlic, anything, but now only he smells tulsi. Mouth we discuss. Genitals. Genitals before were used for illicit sex. Now it is used for procreation or uh, brahmacharya. Anus. What is the illumination of anus? Okay, I'll keep that something for the day. I'll look into it. And so, like this, every sense gets illuminated, and every sense is used. So pictorial representation of this is last time we saw. See, every sense is now dedicated to Krishna. You are seeing this right picture. Previously, what is the left, and now what is the right? Anus, you can say cleanliness. You can tie that to cleanliness. Previously not so clean, now it is clean. Okay. Now what happens in mash passion? O chief of Bharata, when there is an increase in mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive work, intense endeavor, uncontrollable desire, and hankering develops. Can you give me examples where intense desire happened, great attachment happened, fruitive works, uncontrollable desire, hankering develops? Let's take the help of Ravana. We'll take one Shastric and one present example. Ravana, he developed great attachment to what he developed great attachment. To what he developed great attachment. You have
To
read.
want to control everything.
Achha, to control everything. Anything more? There were several things.
You want to have beautiful women.
Yeah. He became greatly attached to Sita. Now, some devotee is also greatly attached to Sita, and Ravana is also greatly attached to Sita. Is there a difference or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. One is to serve Sita, one is to enjoy Sita. So he became greatly attached to Sita to enjoy her. So there was a fruitive action in that. I will get to enjoy her. What kind of intense endeavor he did?
He kidnapped Prabhu.
He kidnapped. He to kidnap. He played with Marichi and planned with Marichi and kidnapped her. Okay, next. What kind of more endeavor he did? Intense endeavor. He put everyone else in intense endeavor. Okay, his brother, their son, his own sons, the whole army. When he was still losing, he didn't give up his desire, uncontrollable desire. And he kept on hankering. And then what happened at the end? What happened to Ravana at the end?
Died Prabhu.
Yeah, he was killed. So the process ended in misery only. Okay, there was continuous misery throughout, and it ended in misery. So result of passion is always misery. Second example. You give me a second example, like contemporary example.
To get promotion, we work day and night, and then
Okay. Somebody
something like
becomes
that.
workaholic. We have to work hard, but workaholic works day and night, right? And he loses everything else, but he gets the promotion. Agreed. Workaholic. Hmm? Any other example? Any other example? What do you think of today's politicians?
They say one thing and then they do one thing, Prabhu.
Yeah, but they also have great attachment, right? Attachment to the power.
Power,
For that, they will
greed.
go to any extent, right? They will go to any extent. They may kill also the other person. Their desires are uncontrollable. There's a hankering for that. I was going to take the example of Hitler. Intense endeavor he did not to control everything, and but he killed so many Jews and so many people. He killed. Uncontrollable desire. Such an extent that when he was losing, the only thing that came into his mind was, I have to commit suicide. I cannot see my own defeat. I'll commit suicide. And he did that. So the result is what? Result was throughout misery and at the end also misery. Politicians, same thing. Throughout their life, they are in miserable condition. At the end of life, also miserable condition. Therefore, politician has to be in mode of passion. That is right. But it should be guided by goodness. Then it is okay. Okay. When there is an increase in mode of good ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, illusion are manifested. Any example of mode of ignorance? Drunkards. Drunkards, they become inactive. They make no endeavor. First of all, they drink something which is food in mode of ignorance. Decomposed, fermented for months and years. What is that? Alcohol. After that, what happens? They become illusioned. And inside a gutter or near the garbage, they will sit and they'll say, this is the best place to be. Right? Have you seen drunkards anytime? Have you seen drunkards?
Prabhuji.
And you will see them, they are sitting at the wrong place. They're doing the wrong thing. They're speaking as if they are the happiest people in the earth. Right? So illusion. They are fooling themselves. They're kind of mad only. If a drunkard drives a vehicle, what happens? Accident.
More chances of accident.
Recently, so many accidents happened. And all of them were drunk. Right? Yes or no? Last 2-3 months, so many accidents happened, right? And they came in the paper and all that, and all were found to be drunk. So in that state, it is actually madness. Now, what happens when one dies in mode of goodness? Okay, throughout his life, he has done goodness, activities of good. Okay, his karma is also good. What happens? He will be definitely promoted to higher planets. So when one dies in mode of goodness, he attains the pure higher planets of sacred sages. Easy. What happens when he is in passion? He takes birth among engaged in fruitive activities. When one is died in mode of ignorance, he takes birth in animal kingdom. So mode of passion is where where you will get families where they are more passionate, business families or some kind of other families. They are only interested in fruitive activities. He will take birth among those. And those in mode of ignorance, he's already acting like an animal, so he will become animal. 16. The result of pious action is pure and it is said to be in mode of goodness. But action done in mode of passion results in misery. See, this is I was saying. Passion will result into misery. And action performed in mode of ignorance results in foolishness. Is sleep foolishness? Can you explain how sleep is foolishness? That's
Prabhu, if you sleep for 7 hours and on time, it is correct. But people are sleeping for 16, 17 hours also.
okay. That's one point. What happens during sleep? What generally happens during sleep?
We will be inactive, Prabhu.
Okay, inactive. Another thing, another point, what happens?
प्रभु जी,
We
जो
don't.
हम दिन में सोचते हैं वो मतलब रात में सपने में आता है। अगर हम कुछ गलत सोचते हैं तो रात के सपने भी ऐसे ही आते हैं नींद के टाइम।
Dreams. In the dream, we may think I am a king or I am an animal. Isn't that foolishness? Yes. So that's why, the result of mode of ignorance will be foolishness. So, once Prabhupada's personal servant said this story, it had become late in the night, and then Prabhupada said, I'm going to waste time now. And he said, I'm going to waste time by sleeping. So, for highly spiritual people, right, devotees, pure devotees, sleep is a waste of time. So they reduce their sleep. Okay. Hardly Prabhupada slept for 2 hours, 3 hours. That's it. The 6 Goswamis, they also slept very, very less. Namacharya Haridas Thakur would sleep only for 2 hours. That's it. After that, he would just get up, take bath, chant every day. 20 plus hours just chanting every day throughout his life. So these people could reduce their sleep. Any other example who reduced his sleep to 0? Do you know? We always discuss Ramayana. Who did that? He reduced his sleep for 0. He reduced his
प्रभु जी, लक्ष्मण।
Yes. Lakshman made it 0. He didn't sleep only. Another name of Arjuna is Gudakesha. Gudakesha means one who is able to control his sleep. Like that. Guda. Very nice. Like that. But he can control it. So yeah, this is the thing. For our thing, at our level, it is sleep is required for us. Okay, so Krishna says for us, Yukta harasya viharasya, Yukta chetasa karmasu. So that's the verse we need to follow. Yukta. Okay, previous. All the yogis, Yukta, Yukta. This one. Yukta harasya viharasya, Yukta chetasu karmasu, Yukta swapna vibodhasya, Yoga bhavati dukkha. So at our level, we have to follow this verse. What is that? I think 6.17. 6.17. Yeah, 6.17. So this is the verse for us. Even the previous verse is also for us. There is no possibility of one becoming a yogi. See, we are trying to become a yogi. Which yogi are we trying to become? Which yogi are we trying to become?
मेटलिस्टिक योगी।
No. Which yogi are we trying to become? Bhakti yogi. Yes or no? Bhakta
Yes,
yogi.
प्रभु जी।
Yeah, that's
We are
what we are
going
trying to become.
forward. We are going forward to it.
Yeah. Right now we are not yogis. Right now we are more or less materialistic. But we are practicing a process of yoga to become a bhakta yogi. Bhakti yogi, okay? Bhakta yogi, we have to become. And this principle applies to us. There is no possibility of one becoming a yogi, one who eats too much, eats too little, sleeps too much, does not sleep enough. Now I talked about sleep where everyone is reducing sleep, but they are in pure devotee. Okay, they will reduce it. But for us, we don't have to do too much, we don't have to do too less. If we do too much, what will happen? He sleeps 12 hours, 18 hours. What happens? Laziness.
Mode of ignorance.
Yeah. But if someone sleeps less, then what happens? Someone doesn't sleep at all. What happens?
It also results in laziness.
No, not laziness, madness.
Right.
Okay? You go from laziness directly to madness. If sleep is not there. Have you anyone visited mental hospital? Anyone in this group has visited mental hospital?
Yes, Prabhu.
Have you seen this phenomena? Sleep is not there coming to the patient. What do? They induce sleep. They give him sleep tablets. Right? They
Shock
put
treatment also, Prabhu.
shock treatment is fine, but sleep treatment is more important. If there is very less sleep, then mental activities are affected. Too much sleep makes us physically lazy. Less sleep, no sleep makes us mentally not lazy, mentally mad. You understand this point? Okay. This is the verse. So for us it is yukta harasa viharasa yukta chetusu karma. So yukta swapnabodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. He who is regulated in his habits. So whatever habits we have, we should be regulated, controlling it. What? Which habits? Eating, sleeping, recreation, work. So you see, sleeping comes in what? Which mode? Predominantly, which mode it is? Sleeping. Tamas.
Ignorance.
Yes, ignorance, tamas. But Krishna is saying we need to regulate our sleeping. Then it becomes yoga. Now you understand? It can mitigate all material planes by practicing the yoga system. Eating, sleeping, recreation, work. If we regulate them, see, if our work is passion, if somebody is in police, army, and all that, passionate work, right? But if he regulates it, and he has to regulate other things also, okay? Eating, sleeping, recreation, okay? Plus work, then he can practice the yoga system, isn't it? Getting? Are you getting this point? Any questions on
Yes,
this?
Prabhuji.
Yeah. So this is how we use the mode, and Krishna tells how to use that mode, which is even in tamas. Generally we'll think tamas use ही नहीं करना है. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. Tamas को regulate करना है. So that's why I say it should be regulated by mode of goodness. Mode of goodness uh, the if somebody is in mode of goodness, he is able to control himself. That's it. That's the simple definition of mode of goodness. Okay. Now that we are discussing this, we have this Brahmana, right? Kshatriya, then Vaishya, and Shudra, right? Which is the predominant mode in Brahmana? Which mode?
Mode of goodness.
Mode of
Yes,
goodness.
that's pretty straight. Sattva. Which is in Kshatriya?
Mode of passion.
Passion, right? Rajas. Vaishya? Passion plus ignorance.
Passion plus ignorance. Yeah.
Shudra?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Okay. Okay. So you see these varnas also, right? They have a predominantly gunas in it. So somebody who's having a brahmanical guna, or let's say sattva guna, he can take to the job of a Brahmana. If somebody is having passion, he can take to Kshatriya. He's having passion plus ignorance, he's having Vaishya. Like that. This is the thing. This is how, utilization is taking place. See, it is not rejected. Anywhere is it rejected? Is a Shudra rejected? No. He is used, even though he is in ignorance, he is used for his benefit and for the benefit of all. See, the point is to benefit all. Okay, so let's get to next verse. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. Like we discussed, the illumination of the senses. You come to know what to do with each sense, how to use it for material benefit, spiritual benefit, right? And from mode of passion develops greed. And from mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, illusion. Okay. Again, the same point. Those situated in mode of goodness gradually go upwards to the higher planetary system. That is Swargaloka. Mode of passion live on the earthly planet, on this earth, as well as the outer planet also. Outer planet is also there, okay? And those in abominable condition, they go to the hellish worlds. Because they're acting like animals, they will definitely go. We're not reading. Okay. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. So anybody acting in this world is actually driven by the modes of nature. Okay. So if one can see this, that the modes of nature are making him to act that particular way, and he knows that there is Krishna, the Supreme, who is unaffected by the modes. This two knowledge makes him eligible for moksha, liberation. Okay. So I need someone to volunteer to read this purport. Can anyone read this purport?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Actually, the living entity is not the performer.
Not from you. Start from you.
One can transcend all the activities of the mode of material nature simply by understanding them properly by learning from the proper souls. The real spiritual master is Krishna, and he is imparting this spiritual knowledge to Arjuna. Similarly, it is from those who are fully in Krishna consciousness that one has to learn the science of activities in terms of the mode of nature. Otherwise, one's life will be misdirected. By the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, a living entity can know of his spiritual position, his material body, his sense, how he is entrapped, and how he is under the spell of the material mode of nature. He is helpless, being the grip of these modes. But when he can see the real position, then he can attain to the transcendental platform, having the scope for spiritual life.
Actually.
Actually, the living entity is not the performer of different activities. He is forced to act because he is situated in a particular type of body, conducted by some particular mode of material nature. Unless one has the help of spiritual authority, he cannot understand in what position he is actually situated. With the association of a bona fide spiritual master, he can see his real position, and by such an understanding, he can become fixed in full Krishna consciousness. A man in Krishna. A man in Krishna consciousness is not controlled by the spell of the material mode of nature. It has already been stated in the 7th chapter that one who has surrendered to Krishna is relieved from the activities of material nature. For one who is able to see things as they are, the influence of material nature gradually ceases.
Yeah. So when we are in this particular body, when we are in this material world, we are helpless. Why? Because the modes are gripping us. Okay. And when we can see our real position, that we are actually the Atma and the modes are actually gripping the body, not the Atma, then we understand the transcendental platform. So even when we are forced to act, because it's situated in a particular type of body, conducted by a particular type of mode, still one will be free because he knows his real position. Okay. Can anyone tell me what does this mean? No other performer is at work other than these three modes. In all activities, no other performer is there other than these three modes. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a very amazing example, and you'll understand how the sadhus use this knowledge. Okay. In Mahabharata, how was Vyasa born? Vyasadev, how he was born? Can you tell me the story? Does anyone know the story? Let's start with that.
हरे कृष्णा
हाँ.
वो सत्यपति और पाराशर मुनि के
Yeah, yes.
संतान थे।
से हुआ था. हाँ. Came Vyasadev. Was Satyavati wife of Parashara Muni?
No.
नो प्रभु जी।
Okay. So now this is the situation of a Rishi Muni with a girl who is not his wife. Is it moral? Immoral? Is it dharma?
For
Or
present age, it is not dharma.
Sorry?
For present age, it is not dharma.
That means 5,000 years ago it was dharma.
Actually, he did not touch her, right? Parashara Muni. It was not a sense gratification for him.
So was it moral or immoral? What is dharma or dharma?
It was dharma. It was not illicit sex.
Well, what is the definition of illicit sex?
Having lusty desires with other
Not
than
lusty
your wife.
desires, having
Or lusty
sex
things.
with a woman who's not your wife.
Mm.
Okay.
इट वाज प्रभु जी अधर्म।
Okay, one is saying adharma, one is saying dharma. Okay, now we need to understand who is this Parashara Muni. Parashara Muni is a Rishi Muni. Okay, he's a Rishi. He is already liberated soul. Okay, he's already liberated soul. He's a pure devotee, pure soul. So technically, he cannot do this activity, right? Because he's a Rishi. He has gone above all this. But now, we'll go back to our 14th verse. He knew this mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, mode of passion. Okay. And then at that particular time, he was with Satyavati because Satyavati was daughter of a fisherman, I think. And she was rowing the boat. So he had to cross the river and he sat in the boat. And when he was in the boat, he felt inspiration within his heart. And then he understood that the universe, the Kala, the time, wanted him to unite with Satyavati, to have a great son Vyasadeva. Therefore, he allowed himself to have union with Satyavati, even though she was not his wife. How did they do this whole act? How did he do? Because he had this understanding, this verse understanding he had. No activity other than the three modes. Now you are getting what does this actually is coming to mean? He is allowing his body to do that particular act, but he is not connected to it. Vyasadeva, to produce Vyasadeva, such a great rishi, you need to have a father which is a great personality, right? That is what the inspiration came into the heart of Parashara Muni. And when he understood that this is the requirement of the time, this is the requirement of the universe, even though Satyavati is not his wife, he united with her. But was he attracted to Satyavati? No. He did it completely unattached, detached way. And then Vyasadeva was born, the great rishi who wrote the whole Vedas for us. Okay, so this is how they use this knowledge and they understand how to use these three modes. In Bhagavad Gita, we have read this. You are not the doer. Have you heard this in Bhagavad Gita? So many times Krishna says, you are not the doer.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is what it means by you're not the doer. The self does nothing, actually sees. So for Parashara Muni, he understood, okay, how does a child takes birth when man and woman unite? Right? When they unite, then only child comes. At that point, he had no desire for wife and all that. Okay, he's above all that. But within his heart, his inspiration came. And he understood this inspiration coming from Super Soul. This inspiration coming from time. This inspiration is coming from higher authorities. Now I have to use my body, produce the semen, and get Vyasadeva as my child. That was his duty, he understood in that particular time. And therefore he did this act, which is externally a dharma, but internally it is dharma. Why? Because he was listening to higher authorities within his heart. And second thing was like he had no connection with Satyavati. Okay. He could understand that, see, these Rishi Munis, they understand what is the inspiration that is within their heart, because they are so much connected with Super Soul, right? That it is, see, for us, what is our problem? We don't know when Super Soul is talking, right? We have so many things in our mind, we just don't know which one is what the Super Soul is trying to tell us. Therefore, we need an external guru to tell us what is right, wrong. Do you understand this point? We need external guru to tell us what is right, what is wrong. But for these Rishi Munis, these sadhus who have achieved higher perfection, they are already connected with Super Soul. So any inspiration that is coming within the heart, right? They know it is coming from Super Soul. So at that point, he understood that the time required a son which was equal to his Rishi, his Rishi Tattva. So that was Vyasadeva. And the only way to get child in this world is to unite with a woman. And then Satyavati was sitting in front of him and he was saying, okay, these desires are coming for you. It never came. I am already connected with Super Soul. That means this Super Soul wants me to do this. So he did. And in Bhagavad Gita, so many times we see, you are not the doer and all that. All these verses he followed, okay. This is a very amazing thing, that nobody can do actually. It's not that easy. Doer thing. Let's see how many times doer is there. We'll go through it. Okay. Prakriti kriyamani guna karmani sabasha ahankara vivnata kartaham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the false influence of false ego, thinks himself to be the doer of activities. Okay. So it is false to think I am the doer, which is actually carried out by the gunas, the three modes. Parashara Muni knew this. Second, according to the three modes, the work associated with them, the four division human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of the system, you should know I am the non-doer being unchangeable. Okay, Krishna is also non-doer. I'm in the meeting.
Papa, come here.
No, I'm in the meeting.
Papa, why did you join the analysis?
I didn't.
Then why where it is?
I didn't. Sorry. Okay. So Krishna is also non-doer. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent, cannot see things as they are. So, what are the five factors? Above verse will tell. The place of action, Kshetra, our body, the performer, the soul, the various senses, many different kinds of endeavor, ultimately the super soul. These are five factors of action. Now, in this case of Parashara Muni, which action he saw that? Which factor was telling him to do this act? Among
Super soul, brother.
Yes. That's what I'm telling. He was already connected to the super soul. He had already controlled his senses. He was never to be attracted to any woman. But now something is happening like this, that he's getting attracted to Satyavati. And therefore he tells Satyavati that the time requires me to get a child from you. And therefore he allows himself to have sexual intercourse with her. And he knows that he is not the doer. Okay. He now understands the super soul wants me to do this service. I will do this. So see, such thing can only come to great Rishi Munis. Okay, that a particular act can only be done by great Rishi Munis and great Brahmanas. Today it is not allowed. Okay, in the Vedic times it was allowed. Okay, but not today. In today Kali Yuga is not. But what I'm trying to say is this: in Bhagavad Gita, whenever Krishna says doer and you are not the doer, you don't think yourself to be the doer, right? It means this. Okay. Okay, so we are out of time. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments at this point?
Prabhu, it was mentioned that we are not the doer, right? So, Prabhu, whatever activities we are doing, we are not the doer on that.
Yeah. So the thing is now. So the thing is, I explain it a little different way. I'll just show you.
I think we desire and Krishna sanction that particular activity, right, Prabhu?
That is there. There's one more thing to it. See, you see this excavator, right?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Yeah. Who is doing the actual digging? The machine is doing the actual digging. It is just being controlled by the
Person.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
does the person, I mean, this machine belongs to whom? It belongs to the company. He is employed by the company to use this machine to do this activity of digging. Okay. If he digs in a wrong position, wrong place, who is to be blamed? The machine is to be blamed?
No. That person will
That
be.
person who used. Okay. But if he claims I dig it, that is also wrong.
Yes, because machine is doing.
So he can say I dig it with the help of the machine. So in that way, he is not the doer. Because to do that activity, he is taking help of other things, right? So then we should acknowledge the other things. Na? If in a team there are 5 people and the project is successful, the manager should not say, I am the only one who worked on it.
Yes.
He should say the whole team worked on it. So Krishna talks about the team. Where is the team? 18 point. We just read it. No? We just read it. 18.14. Okay, 18.14 is where he says. 18.14. So many things. So 5 factors are contributing. Okay, 5 factors are contributing. What are those? Place of action, the body. The body itself is contributing. Who is doing that activity within the body? The performer, that is the soul. What is he using? He's using the various senses. And what is he doing? He's doing many kinds of activities, endeavors. Ultimately, the super soul is providing what is the result. Getting? See, in this case, if one wants to dig, the company should authorize, right? It should authorize, permit, oversee, right? Without their permit, he cannot use this machine. You getting this? So, without the sanction of the super soul, he cannot use all these things, senses and all that. Who is the actual owner of all the senses? Krishna, right? Rishikesha. Rishikesha means one who controls and owns all the senses.
Control the senses.
We look at another picture. Yeah, our favorite one. This yantra, this body is a yantra. It's a machine. Who gives us this machine? Is it ours? Krishna gives us, right? So on his permission, see, he grants this permission easily, okay? But we should know that it's actually a permission to use this body. Now Krishna says, okay, you are the performer. This is the kshetra. All kinds of different activities you're doing. You're doing left, right, move, back, jump, right, talk, see. All these activities you're doing. All the endeavors you're using these senses to do all kinds of endeavors, working hard a day, sleeping, this, that, etc. Right? After doing all this, the super soul grants the result. Depending on what? Depending on our past activities and depending on how much endeavor also we put. Where are we? Sorry. How much endeavors also we put. That's how, super soul grants us result of the action. Does this help, Mataji, in understanding how we are not the doer?
Yes.
Still,
Yes.
see, the thing is, we are not the only doer. The problem Bhagavad Gita points out is that don't think you are the only doer.
Yes.
Yeah, you are part of a team. Acknowledge the team, and in that team there is super soul also.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you should acknowledge super soul also.
Yes. So that's why some people say ये तो भगवान का दिया हुआ है.
हाँ.
Now you understand why they say like this.
हाँ. Correct.
Okay. If one person says मैंने मेरी हिम्मत के साथ काम किया and all that, fine. भगवान की कृपा थी कि मेरी हिम्मत को इतना सारा रिजल्ट मिला. That's the right statement to do. Himmat, we have put our efforts and we got Krishna's mercy also. Therefore, we got the result. Right? You understand this?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Okay. So, we'll continue next week with verse number 20. Any other question or comment? Okay. So, thank you very much.